Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my yearly favorites. The time has come. One thing I want to address first is I'm wearing a bit of a crazy makeup, but I was inspired by my shirt today. It has this nice little pop of blue and it reminded me of the Pat Mcgrath and Bridgerton collaboration palette that is coming out. And I was like, let me try to dupe it with my own items. So I did that. I have Pat Mcgrath eyeshadows, a Glam Shop eyeshadow on top, and I posted it in a reel in my Instagram if you're curious about the details of the products. Anyways, if you can go past the little bit heavy blush, let's take a look at the favorites for this year. I'm going to start with a little bit of skincare. There's not a lot this year because I really went with my tried and trues, but I think a few highlights to mention are for sure it's not very nice to see, but this is my Good Molecules cleansing bar, and this is the one for normal to oily skin. I've started it halfway, second half of the year, and I've been really enjoying it. It's not drying. It has nothing to do with bar soaps like we were used to. This is really a facial cleanser. It foams up and it really cleanses well without leaving my skin tight at all. So I really like this. I have bad experiences with bar soaps that let my skin feel very tight, so this one is really nice. I'll put the link down below. It doesn't look like this, but I'm almost out of it clearly, and I would have repurchased it this year actually for Black Friday, but I realized I still have 2 or 3 cleansers to go through, so that will easily bring me through 2022, so I might purchase them in the Black Friday sale of 2023. Next up is another favorite, tried and true, very long time favorite, is the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. I use this a lot. It's like in my daily staple. I just had a skin scan done by Paula's Choice, and what was quite nice is that even though I have oily skin, we couldn't see any blocked pores or any dirt in my pores. And I think that is a lot to say for all my skincare, double cleansing and using this. So I'm really happy with that. Another tried and true is the Paula's Choice Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Fluid SPF 50. I kept using this all year. I love it. It's perfect for normal to oily skin. It's very thin, transparent, doesn't leave a cast, but you also don't feel it on your skin. You don't sweat it in summer. It's, I can use it in winter and summer all the time. I just love this. And I use also the Skin Balancing SPF 30, but I'm trying to pump up to an SPF 50 when at least it's sunny outside or it's summer. So in dark winter days that I don't leave the house, then I will not put SPF. In dark winter days that I do leave the house, I do SPF 30. In sunny winter days, I do SPF 50. And then from March to October, I do SPF 50 every day regardless. That's a little bit my thing, and this one has been a favorite. And the final skincare favorite for 2021 is the Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream to brighten and depuff. I started this some time ago, but I had finished a mini before that helped me choose to buy it, and it is a brightening eye cream which has a little bit of a tint, very little. I know that they reformulated and they have added a deeper shade, so I think that's quite nice, but it also has a little bit of a sheen. It's not a shimmer that you see. It doesn't emphasize wrinkles or anything, but it's a very solid daytime eye cream. The only thing I would want this differently is in a different packaging. Jars, I think, are of another era. I don't think we should have jars anymore, and I would love if it would have an SPF. SPF 30 under the eyes would be great, just as an extra layer of protection. The skin there is very thin, very prone to aging and wrinkles, so it would be great if that would be in there. Now let's move on to makeup. I'm going to start with the discovery of the year in terms of skin products, and this is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I use the shade 5, which matches me now in winter. It's a little bit light for summer for me. I still need to figure out if in summer I want to purchase a darker shade or not, but for now it suits me very well without self-tanning, and that's actually the reason I'm not self-tanning, is that now my winter foundations suit me, or fit me, match me, is what I was meant to say. So really happy with this one. It's possibly not the most long-lasting skin tint, but skin tints are not super long-lasting or mattifying anyways. This one gives a really nice natural finish that is not dewy, and being an oily skin girl, I don't like dewy finishes in the center of my face, so I prefer to add that with highlighter. So really loved that this year. I used it a ton. Concealer of the year goes to the Clio Makeup Oh My Love concealer. I have the shade number 6. This is a really nice staple under eye concealer. It has buildable coverage. It does not crease particularly, not more than NARS, for example. It is cheaper than NARS. It works well. You can cover a lot, but also not too much. It's not cakey. I really like it. I do set it, but I've used this one a ton, especially since I finished my Project Pan concealer, and I really enjoy this concealer this year. I am probably going to try to finish it in the coming year, because I have a new concealer that I've been really loving. If you've seen my monthly favorites, then you know about that one as well. In terms of powder, the only powder I used this year is the Nabla Close-Up Smoothing Powder, the pressed version. And actually, since I filmed my Project Pan finale, I got a pan. There's a tiny pan in there. I think you can see it even on camera. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It worked well for me, and I'm gonna keep using it. It's a very good powder. Is it the end all be all of powders that keeps me matte all day, but also doesn't look cakey, but also looks nice and natural satin finish? No, in the sense that it will only last so long depending on how oily I am and what I do during the day. But to me, this is a workhorse everyday powder. I would keep using it every day. Now moving on to interesting cheek products. My favorite highlighter of the year has been definitely Auric Glow Lust. I had a small sample last year from Mariam, and she gave me a sample last year. I loved it to death, and now that I saw her again, she gave me more, and I'm so excited because I just really love the product. I don't have it on today. Today I have a Nabla Skin Glazing, but this is like the most shiny but dewy but not too juicy, so it doesn't look greasy but it looks wet, and it doesn't enhance texture. It's just the perfect formula for a liquid illuminator. And I've tried this one. I've tried Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. I've tried the Lisa Eldridge one. You know I didn't like that one this year. And I tried the Vive Skin Dew right now. So this, of all of those, has been the best. I actually am planning to do a bit of a video on at least the last three, not on the Lisa Eldridge because that one I sold already. But that has been my favorite highlighter of the year. For bronzer, discovery of the year and a big favorite is the Glowish by Huda Beauty. I have the shade 2 medium, and it's a marbled radiant bronzer. I don't think I can show you like that. No, it doesn't swatch super well, but it applies really nicely on the skin. And yeah, it's just a really nice powder that doesn't look powdery. I prefer it to, for example, the Kosas bronzer that I mentioned in my Secret to Declutter video. Yeah, just a really good bronzer, radiant, looks really healthy on the skin, and yeah, I just really like it. And I'm happy there's a shade underneath mine. Like, I'm not super dark, but I'm not the fairest either. So I'm very happy that I start on 2. Blushes for this year, there are 2 favorites. One is a favorite color and formula and worst packaging. That is the Lisa Eldridge, what is it called? Seamless Skin Enlivening Blush. I have the shade Dante's Dream. I mentioned it in my monthly favorites as well because I picked it back out now that it's been a bit colder, and I feel like the color suits the cold weather very well. Oh, Andrea is awake. She's just playing in her cot. And I've been just really enjoying this. The formula of this is very easily blendable and buildable. You can go up to this level of color. This is not what I'm wearing, by the way, but a lot of blush. But you can also wear it very, very naturally. I really like this. And another nice discovery of this year is the Natasha De Nona Puff Paint. And I have the shade Tan, I believe. And it's a beautiful nude blush. And there's a hair in there. Ew. It's a teeny tiny pack, but I don't know, it's really good. It has a doe foot applicator, you dot it on, or you put it on your hand, and then with a brush you blend it in. Really good. It dries a little bit darker than what it looks here, so I thought it wouldn't show up at all on my skin. Instead, it gives me a really, really nice nude blush. Really love this one. One of my favorites. Actually, one of my favorites of the year. Going to mascara, because it's different from last year, I want to mention it. This is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. And it's a favorite because I liked while I was using it, but also because I am now wearing my old Lash Sensational, like the original Lash Sensational, and I don't like my lashes, or I don't think my lashes are at the level that they could be and that I usually achieve with this. So this is a favorite. I probably will not repurchase the other Lash Sensational, the original, and only go on with this one. This one luckily is my backup, so I have one for when the original is finished. Let's move on to eyeshadow, shall we? I will be doing a ranking my palettes for the year, so this one is not necessarily my favorite palettes part, but my favorite eyeshadow part. So one that I've been using a ton this year and I've loved a lot is my custom Natasha De Nona palette. I made this to go on holidays this summer, and I've kept it like this. This is a mix of bronze and Metropolis from Natasha De Nona in their midi formats. And I just love the color story, and I've used it so much, and the formula of these are so good that I just love this, and I kept it like this. And I wanted to make a wintry one or a holiday one, but to be honest, I just keep reaching for these. So I really enjoy them. I love their cream to powder formula, and Metropolis is the one that has the most of them. So there's a lot of those in here, and some nice earthy tones from bronze. Loved this palette. Then for single eyeshadow, the highlight of the year for sure have been my Glam Shop palette eyeshadows. Not the palettes necessarily, but I love their Turbo Glow and their Velvet formula. They are my favorites. Actually, the beautiful bluish shine that I have on my eyes is this shade right here called Celtic. And these are so beautiful. They have such a high sparkle formula, especially the Turbo Glows. The Velvets have a little bit more of a base shade. I have swatches of all of my eyeshadows except for the last 9 that I bought in videos on my channel, so I'll leave them linked in the description box. But they're just great, and I'm already starting my new cart for a next future order because they released some new ones that look really, really beautiful. And this is the other palette. I don't know if you wanted to see it. I only have 2 marbles here because I find the marble formula a little bit difficult to use. It's not as effortless or as easy as the rest. So finally, I want to mention pre-made palettes, and that is because this year I discovered Pat McGrath. I bought my first Pat McGrath palette in December last year, and it arrived in January, I believe, and that was not this one, and that was Divine Rose 2. Now, they are favorites because it has been really a discovery this year. I've been loving reaching for the astral shades in here, these super beautiful sparkles. They are different than the Glam Shop, and we've discussed this with Mariam recently in a video that we collabed in. I'll leave that linked here. It was about your unpopular opinions, and it was a lot of fun. But we were discussing how the Pat McGrath Astro or Sparkle shades are drier and don't have as much of a base color. So they're a bit more, according to Mariam, elegant to use. I find them just a different formula. I can use a Turbo Glow with nothing underneath, no other eyeshadow, but I have a harder time using a sparkly shade by Pat McGrath in my without having a base. But that said, this is Brown Seduction, my other big Pat McGrath palette. A shade like this as a topper is like the most beautiful thing ever, and you just dab it on and it gives the most beautiful effect. And actually lately you've seen in one of my videos I've been using this topped with this, and it's like, thank you neighbors. And it's like a beautiful red Christmassy look with some golden sparkles on top. I don't know, it's gorgeous. And yeah, I have to say, these are worth the price. However, the color story needs to be perfect for you. If the color story is not perfect and you use only a few shades, then I think it's a bit expensive. And that's kind of the situation with me, in the sense that I love the palettes I have, but I don't use all the shades all the time. And one thing that I find is they're very deep, very smoky in terms of mattes, so you really go and end up doing really deep shades. So sometimes I pull in my Lorac Noir palette, to have a bit of a lighter base or lighter crease color, and then go in with a special shade. Then they're really, really worth it. And finally, we have made it to the lip category, and there's quite a few favorites here because I don't know, I love them a lot. Again, let's continue with Pat McGrath. My first Pat McGrath lipstick was Flesh 3 in their matte formula, and oh my god, this is such a beautiful shade. Definitely a favorite. I rambled about it a lot also in my December roundup. And the other one I got in a mini is Flash 5, which now I wish I got also on a full size. And it's a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter of a shade, but also absolutely gorgeous. So these two, I think this Pat McGrath matte trans lipstick formula is becoming my favorite lipstick formula that I own. I think for reals. The other discovery of the year, and definitely a favorite, is a MAC lipstick from their fall limited edition, and this is Avant Garnet, and it is a beautiful red. There we go. It's a bit deeper, but it's not a bright red, and I love it. And finally, for a nude, I wanted to mention Lisa Eldridge Velvet Affair. I have decluttered the other two, but Velvet Affair is a beautiful, beautiful nude. Definitely a favorite of this year. I've used it a lot in the past few months since I've had it, and I definitely needed to mention it. It's a color that I thought I had in 1,000 different ways, and instead I don't. And that is what makes it extremely precious, and it also suits me very well. I also wore quite a bit of liquid lipsticks this year. Thank you, neighbors. But I've mentioned a lot of formulas already in last year's favorite that I then rediscussed recently in a video. The Dose of Color liquid lipsticks, for example. And I do love my Lime Crime liquid lipsticks. I'm just looking next to me what I have. But I think what I want to really mention is the Melted Matte. And I only have the Christmas shades, or I have also this year's Christmas shade, but I don't think I can put it as a favorite. I've used it twice. But these two, Gingerbread Man and Gingerbread Girl, are such staples that, yeah, they're just favorites for sure. And also, having to wear masks and stuff, On me, everything will transfer because breathing brings moisture, breaks down the formula. So I cannot say these are transfer proof in terms of masks, but I do really love them. And the formula is one of the most comfortable liquid lipsticks that turn matte that I own. And that, you guys, were my favorites for the year. Things that really stood out, things that are really special or that I discovered this year. There are products that I just love all the time, and you've heard me talk about them a lot, or products that were last year's favorite that I discussed, but many of them I still love this year. There's the Nabla Skin Glazing, there's Patrick Ta blushes, things like that. But I don't want to repeat the same products over and over again. So these were the more newer to me and things I fell in love again with this year or for the first time. And yeah, I think that was my highlights. I hope you have been enjoying these holiday days, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.